In this video, we are going to talk about how to sign $3,000 or more clients with AI cold email. This is crucial because as soon as you learn how to do this, you can scale any business, particularly any B2B business. There is no B2B business or offer that when you know this stuff that you will not be able to scale to this 50K a month, 80K a month level that we talk about on this channel if you understand this stuff. This is the stuff that allows you to stop working with $300 clients and immediately skip the line to start working with $3,000 clients. Just think about it. Just think about how much of a game changer that alone is. Getting to $1,500 to $3,000 up front on demand, getting to that level. Well, in this video, you are going to get all of the secret sauce. You are going to find out exactly how I do this and how I help other people do this and how other pro agency owners do this right now. This is not some secret. I just don't think it's really been broken down in the right way to enough depth on YouTube. I don't think anybody's really done this justice. There's a few people who talk about it rather well, but I'm giving you all the secret sauce today. And the methods that you're going to get in this video are structured so that anybody can do this. Even if you have never built a business before, it will be step by step in terms of what you need to think about. All the boxes will be checked. By the end of this video, especially if you stay until the end, you will be a 0.01% AI marketing agency owner, at least in competency and in knowledge. This stuff is going to put you that much further ahead. And or a 0.01% copywriter, really whatever you desire. The sky's the limit. You're going to clean up with this stuff. With that being said, let's get into it. If it's your first time here, welcome. My name is Pablo Melandu. I'm an online entrepreneur. Currently scaling Vince Scale, my AI marketing agency, to north of 7 figures in real time with daily documentation on this channel. I work with businesses doing over $1 million a year in revenue, helping them scale with AI cold email and helping them design and convert premium offers. You can get this document for free as always. The link is in the description. It will add you to my newsletter, but I will not spam you. I will send you some free tips throughout the week and notes throughout the week with some stuff that will make you richer. I make no income claims. I make no guarantees. My results are not typical. Now let's begin. There are 7 key elements that we're going to cover in this video. These 7 things change everything for you, and you have to nail them. This has to be bulletproof for this to work. Luckily for you, you have the entire playbook right here. So we're going to knock these out in order. So we're going to start with the campaign approach. So campaign approach, including things like testing, targeting, and offer framing. This is a core piece of how to craft 3K plus, 5K plus offers and sell them to cold traffic, people who you've never met and who you are interacting with for the first time. So let's talk about testing and targeting. So with testing and targeting, you won't get this right on the first attempt. I think that's the biggest thing to keep in mind. Beginners want to fast track. I want to fast track you guys because a lot of you guys that I speak to on calls, you guys are hyper intelligent, but still, you won't get this right on the first attempt because it's like being able to see the future. You can't. So what that means is that you, for the sake of your success and for the sake of you being able to get results, you guys are here because you want results, right? And you guys trust me because I get people results, correct? So I will only ever be honest with you about the mindset and the process you need. So you need to get in the mind frame of testing. This is just like ads. It's just like cold calling. It's like any sort of outbound, even content, inbound. There's a testing period. There's a reason why I don't expect anything for the first 6 months of doing YouTube. I'm in month, what is this, 3 now or 4, something like that. I didn't, I'm like, let me just make 100 videos and see where this goes, sort of thing, right? For email, same thing. There's a testing period. Till this day, I go into it with that mind frame. I always like to go for, in terms of campaign strategy, I always like to go for direct response campaigns versus like lead magnet campaigns, for example. As direct response campaigns, so just straight up asking if they're interested in learning more or, asking for the meeting. Those are the most efficient for obvious reasons. You don't have to spend time making a loom or making a lead magnet. And these also just attract the most serious buyers. They'll get you the lowest conversions. We've talked about this before on the channel, but they attract the most serious buyers. Now, loom campaigns I still use sparingly, but loom campaigns are really there just to test as a benchmark in comparison to your direct response campaigns. Loom campaigns are really there just as an added mechanism to penetrate a market and build trust, but we aren't here to depend on them. A lot of times it's there to just make sure that you can actually penetrate this market and get some responses. They're good for building trust, of course, but my conversions on looms have never been quite high. I don't think anybody's are, because they're easy to say yes to. Like, yeah, sure, send the video, but Also, like, the least serious people tend to go for the free stuff and say yes to the free stuff. You know what I mean? So that's why I like direct response campaigns. But I will typically, if I'm penetrating a totally new market, which isn't what I do, I don't do all that much, to be honest, in this point of where I'm at. But when I first started, absolutely, for the first few months, yeah, I'm testing new niches every week. So that's the campaign strategy. That's the mindset, the mind frame you need to adopt. Now, let's talk about targeting. So the thing with mid-ticket to high-ticket services, I consider anything, let's say anything between 1 and 5,000 to be mid-ticket. Anything above 5K to be high-ticket. That's just me. This is subjective. There are no rules. But regardless, excuse me, the thing with mid-ticket to high-ticket services is you will need to go directly to the decision maker. Now, the decision maker is easier to reach the smaller the company size is. But the smaller the company size, the less likely it is that they have any budget. And this brings us back to testing. So what you're going to need to do through testing is find the middle ground, finding your sweet spot. And you will only find this through testing. This is why it's so important. And it's important to be patient. You guys want results fast, and so do I. Part of why I'm going so in depth with this is so that you don't have to waste time and money making the mistakes that I made. However, testing is a skill in itself. Patience is also a virtue in this game, especially marketing. You have to find the middle ground, your sweet spot, right, between the company sizes. And you will only find this through testing. He who tests the most wins. He who sends the most emails wins. It's just like ads. Like, he who tests the most ads, the most creatives, the most copy wins. So your ability to send and sell an offer using AI cold email will depend on your ability to communicate the ROI, the return on investment of that offer. Specifically in terms of how it saves the person time, makes the person money, or saves the person money. So your ability to sell that offer, again, will depend on your ability to actually explain how it does these things, one of or multiple of these things, in very simple, no BS, no fluff, third grader language. It's just very direct. It saves you 8 to 10 hours a week. That's it. Like, that's how it saves you time. It saves you 8 to 10 hours a week by automating your remedial tasks. Like, very, very, very obvious, right? It has to be very obvious. I've used this saying, metaphor, analogy, whatever it is. I don't know the term. I've used this before, but if you were to explain your offer to you, just the layman, like my mom or your mom, for example, like she has to be able to understand it. The cold email has to be that simple and readable and understandable. So it has to be very obvious. I'm working with a six-figure business owner inside Spectre right now. And one of the major things we did to restructure his offer into a high ticket offer was to communicate the benefits of what he does in this way, almost at a third grade level. And now the offer is just way more attractive. And now we are in that testing period. So you need to, like, if you want to sell at 3K, because that's the point of what we're talking about today, well, then it's absolutely critical that you go through this exercise of outlining this. You got to be ready, because you'll have to communicate this on a call. And again, it has to be very obvious. Now, as an example, so YouTube content agencies reach out to me all the time, right? If you've seen me do my copy roasts, you would know this. Like, I reached out to them a lot. So my advice to someone like a YouTube content agency, for example, so you can understand how offer framing works, is to stop selling me videos. Stop saying you're going to do videos for me, and start selling me, done for you, optimized content, for example, that will land me 5 to 7 calls a week on average. Right? So this is something I would pay for, especially if you can quantify it to the number of calls I can expect to get. But it's done, that's how it makes me more money. Like, it's very obvious now. I don't, you giving me videos is just like, okay, anybody can do that. Therefore, I'm only going to, I'm only going to pay you what I would pay everybody. But if you can make me highly optimized content that can get me 5 to 7 calls a week on average, well, then I can do the math in my head. So leading with the creative positioning of, I'll just make you nice, pretty videos, versus the ROI positioning of, like, it'll get you 5 to 7 calls a week. Even better if you can calculate how much money that means for me. This means that, leading with the creative positioning versus the ROI positioning means it'll never be more than just a video for me. I can't see the benefits. It's on you as an agency owner, as a business owner, to communicate this to me as a person you're emailing and paint the picture of like the so what. So what you make me a video? Well, it's going to book you 5 to 7 or 5 to 10 calls a week, for example. So that's why that matters so much, the offer framing. Okay. So we've discussed campaign approach. So my approach to campaigns is always to test first. Little micro campaigns of like I'll add 500 leads in this one, 500 leads in this one. And I start to see the reply rates and the positive reply rates kind of take their own shape. And the one that gives me some hints of being more successful, I'll pour more into this one until it just kind of pops, right? So that's my approach. Targeting, find the sweet spot. Not too small of companies to where they don't have budget, not too big to where you can't reach them. And then offer framing, make sure you can communicate the offer in terms of the so what. So what if you're going to get me 5 meetings a month? What does that mean for me? Right? So you got to be able to communicate that stuff. Now, let's go over scripts. So email scripts, copy. This is everybody's favorite part, especially the beginners. I will tell you this, the longer you spend building an agency or running a business that utilizes cold email, the less you will care about copy. And the more you will care about your offer, the more you'll focus on your offer and the targeting. When you do those things, the copy writes itself. So the reason why we started with offer and targeting first is because your copy, while it's important, is actually one of the least important things in the entire process. It's the final army troop that you send out into battle, but they have to know who their target is. They have to know what their target looks like. They have to know how to find them. They need to know, the vehicle that delivers them to the target has to make it there in one piece, so on and so forth. So it's not 2023 anymore. Your emails need to be airtight in terms of copy. What does that mean? Offer statements dialed in and it's tested, right? A lot of stuff comes through testing, but in terms of the copy itself, clear, concise, and to the point. The higher up you go in company size, the more this matters. Why? Because the more text you have in an email, the more likely it is that the spam filters get you. Because you have more words, which means there's a higher chance of you inputting spam words and things like that. Now, a lot of people make a big fuss about not being able to land into Microsoft Outlook inboxes, for example. A big reason as to why this is because Microsoft's infrastructure is used at the enterprise level, right? Meaning at big companies. And naturally, it comes with more strict spam filters. Oftentimes, that infrastructure is built on its own servers. And of course, Microsoft has its own algorithm, but that's not the major reason. Okay, so that's the whole fuss about people not being able to land in Microsoft Outlook inboxes. But if you just focus on sending good, relevant emails to the right people, you won't have to worry about this. Okay, I don't even think about this. I don't do ESP matching, anything of that stuff. I used to obsess over that stuff at the beginning. Now I don't care about any of that. I just focus on writing good emails that are relevant to the right people. Do that and you will be fine. That being said, I've given out my swipe file to you guys with all, a bunch of my different copies and templates. It's on my Gumroad. I've linked it in this document as well right there. But this is more testing than anything. I'm always just going to refer you back to testing. Just test it. I don't know if it's going to, just test it. Don't know if it's going to work. Just test. Now, one of the biggest issues I see is a lot of informing being done in people's emails. We're talking about the copy. So stop trying to teach people things in an email. So I'll see something like, hey, Pablo, found you on LinkedIn and thought I'd reach out. Most agency owners lose 10% because they spend too much time on remedial tasks. Stop informing, stop teaching people. Stop giving them stats and facts and informing them. Ask them a question or tell them what it is that you have to offer and what it in terms of what it means for them, what's in it for them. But yeah, stop doing stuff like this because it's rarely ever right. And even if you are right, people don't want to be wrong in their first interaction with you. That's a very important point. Now, second thing, and probably the most important thing, is the actual offer statement. So this goes back to positioning, right? This is where a lot of people mess up, is just the positioning of it all. That's the number one place people mess up in their offer statements. Yeah, but this is what's going to get you your positive replies is the offer statement. So assuming you're actually reaching the right people, of course. So if you have a low positive reply, it's the offer, okay? Now, the biggest issue beginners have, and almost an annoyance to me at this point, but I empathize with you because I was a beginner not too long ago, is that they think they should be hitting a home run on their first campaign or their first few campaigns. So do you understand how much testing you have to be willing to do in marketing period to strike a gold? Again, it's the same thing with ads. You don't just launch an ad set with 3 creatives and then it doesn't work and then you say ads are dead. It's the same thing with cold email. There's a bit of a learning process. Gift yourself the gift of time to be able to test things. Be patient with yourself. This is a skill. There's a lot of little micro skills that you are learning that when you learn them and you get good at them, which you will, because a skill can be learned and it can be taught. When you get good at this, you'll never be without it again. It's like riding a bike. Don't forget how to do it. You can send cold emails to launch any B2B offer. Now, number 3, impressions really begin in the prospect research stage. That's a mouthful, but let me break it down like this. This is important in terms of being able to sell 3K offers via cold email. You want to know the advantage I have over 99% of people who do cold email? I'm just going to be totally raw and honest here. The advantage I have over 99% of people who do cold email, right? Do you want to know the advantage that all the bigger folks in marketing or people who run big agencies have over everyone else? When I reach out to you through an email, right? If I reach out to you via text or a cold call, what you do is you look me up to make sure I'm not some scammer. And what you find when you look me up, when you type in Pablo Milandu, is a plethora of information. Not just information, social proof, content. My LinkedIn page comes up. Me talking about the thing I do that I pitched you in an email. Me interacting with other agency owners. Me interacting with other business owners and other marketers on LinkedIn. You can just see it. Me reposting and retweeting people's stuff. And it goes on and on and on and on. You know exactly what I look like. You know exactly where I'm located just by looking me up. You can see I've been doing this for quite a while. That's the difference. That's my moat. That's my true moat. That's my true advantage that I've spent months building up intentionally and purposefully, excuse me. And their impression of you, the prospect's impression of you, forms in that first 5 minutes after they open your email and just do a quick Google search, because they are. That's what they're doing right now. And just give them something to find, okay? You don't have to do YouTube. They're going to put you in that position and say that's what you have to do to be successful. I didn't do YouTube until I don't know, it was a good 4+ months, something like that, of building my agency, something like that. So I was just in my office learning the skill, getting good, getting case studies. That was my whole focus. I wasn't even doing YouTube. I had LinkedIn and I had Twitter, I believe. Anyway, I will leave that there and I will leave it up to you is my point. But please don't question why cold email is so hard. What I'm telling you exactly, or if it's possible to scale to 80K a month, whatever it is with cold email, I'm telling you exactly how I and the other big guys are doing it. I don't think anybody's just led with an open book in this way, but I'm telling you how it's being done. Spoiler alert, okay? It's just we are willing to do things that a lot of other people aren't willing to do. That's it. It's intentional. Hence a moat. They're not willing to do it. So it's on purpose, right? I'm on YouTube and I dominate YouTube. I'm still on the come up. But some guys have made Twitter their space. Some guys have made LinkedIn their space. Just pick one and go. You just pick one and go. When I started just focusing on YouTube, or when I was just focusing on TikTok, anytime I just focus on one thing, it takes off. Just pick one and go. There are millions of dollars, more than you can fathom, to be made on each platform. You can be anonymous. Absolutely. It will just take you longer. So this is all about what you are willing to do. And the only reason why those kids on the internet have scaled to bigger amounts than you, faster than you, is because they don't have time to ponder about what they feel like doing. They will hit 50K a month, for example, by any means. They will take it out of thin air. They will just take it. It's not about what we feel like doing anymore. I mean, do you want it or do you not? I don't know how else to put it. I've never seen someone who really, really wanted something with all their heart not get it. I've never seen someone who's really tried their best, honestly, not have what they want. I'm just being honest. Anyway, so for the folks in Spectre, for example, I have put together Twitter thread scripts, prompts, professionally written, professionally copywritten YouTube titles for those who want to do content, short form content titles and ideas, GPTs to help you generate scripts so that you can create high converting content. Like, this is all just copy paste templates designed to go viral and get you a flood of opportunities without having to sit and brainstorm things yourself and worry about the content. So I make it really easy for the folks, but that's how we do it. Okay. Now, pre-call flow. This is something a lot of people don't think about. So this is when the client has agreed to get on a meeting with you, which will happen quite soon if it hasn't happened for you already. Okay. I got you. Don't worry. I won't leave you hanging. So this is where I see a lot of people flop. So what happens is they book the meeting and then they just hope their prospect shows up. And then on the call, if the prospect does show up, what they have to do is do a lot of time educating and convincing the prospect to buy into their offer. Do yourself a favor and educate the prospect before they jump on the call, so a lot of their objections and questions are answered. This is as simple as just sending one email before the call. You can pre-write it. You should be sending them an email or a set of emails in the days leading up to the call with any information, including decks, case studies, and testimonials that pre-handle objections. Send them in your portfolio, send them in your website, so on and so forth. It's not that hard to do. To say, hey, I thought this would be helpful information for you to see before you jump on a call. Some more education about what we offer and what we do and who we help and how we can help. That's it. Just keep it very simple. Don't overthink any of this stuff, guys. Don't overthink any of this stuff. Lean back. Physically, okay? So with the folks I'm working with in Spectre, we have email scripts and checklists. I give them my personal email scripts and checklists so that they know exactly what to send, right? So you know exactly what to send word for word without having to think about this to make it bulletproof. So that number one, your show rate increases exponentially, which means number two, you close more deals and make more money. So that's the pre-call flow. Now, number 5, the offer. So the actual 3K offer. Okay. So by the way, if you haven't connected the dots, the pre-call flow is important because people need to come in trusting you if they're going to pay you that much. That's why that's important. Okay. 5, offer. I would start with an initial package before graduating to a retainer. It's not like 2018 SMMA days or whenever the wave came around where, you can just pitch retainers and stuff. Like, you got to take it easy a little bit. All right. Initial package before graduating to a retainer is what will allow you to sell to cold traffic. Now, I have a bunch of other videos talking about the offer, like in great depth and detail, but this is the number one thing. Offer an initial package, right? Get them 5, get them 10 leads or whatever it is in a certain amount of time frame with a one-time fee. Collect, let's just say 50% up front, 50% upon completion. Have your guarantee. If it's done for you work, have a guarantee. Okay. Now, with the actual sales call, a lot of the folks I work with aren't, there aren't, like, sales is new for a lot of people, but sales is really easy. Sales is not what you see in Wolf of Wall Street. Sales is kind of like just asking people questions, kind of like a doctor asks you questions in the office to get a sense of what's wrong with you and how they can help and what they should prescribe. That's sales. That's when you get really good at sales. If you guys have ever been on calls with me, a lot of you have, I'm very much like this. I'm very warm and relaxed. I don't do the salesy thing. I've never had to. So with sales calls, just take a consultative approach. This makes you come across like you've done it before, right? So all that means is you're just asking questions. Just know which questions you're going to ask. Right? Like, where are you now? What's your situation? What's your goal? What are you having issues with? That's it. So know your offer very well. You probably want to have a deck if you're not very well versed in sales. The biggest key, again, is positioning your offer against the ROI for the client and emphasizing the ROI. Right. So emphasizing, okay, we charge $3,000 for this thing, but what it means for you, Mr. or Mrs. Client, is you get to save tens of hours a week. How much is that worth to you? Sort of thing. Like, just, we can go on and on and on. Right. again, so this is stuff I've been helping the folks in Spectre with my private coaching program. So just sales call scripts, just giving them that stuff that are adapted to any niche or any B2B niche, so that anybody can easily and confidently close 3K offers. Right? It's just I wish I had this stuff, but it's, scripts, sales call scripts, and sales call processes that are so bulletproof that anybody can take it and you start cleaning up. So even if you have no business experience. But anyway, lastly, selling 3K offers, mindset and mentality. So you need to test an offer. You can't expect to try it once and then fail. Okay. I watched this really cool video. I forget who it was from, but the folks in Spectre, I shared it there, about the price of winning. The person who wins, the person who won, who got the client, the person who built the agency and scaled it to 20, 30, 50, 80K a month, whatever, they were willing to overpay. They were willing to do more than you were. They were willing to wait longer than you were. That's it. That's the only difference. You just quit too soon, or you just don't have the patience. Like one of the best mindset shifts for myself was just a longer term outlook. Just a longer term outlook. Just taking things one step at a time versus trying to build and scale the whole business in 1 month. So there is no difference between you and them. In fact, you are better than them. If you're on this channel, you sought it out. You sought this stuff out for a reason. This isn't, again, a channel that you stumble upon. You were in a certain algorithm looking for a certain thing. So welcome. But there's no difference between you and them. In fact, you are better than them. They were just willing to wait longer than you and figure out each little problem, and they took it upon themselves to win. So that's how you sell 3K offers. Those are the most important things. The mindset and the mentality, the sales call, the offer itself as an initial package, the pre-call flow, send them an email and educate them. That'll help you with show rates and getting them more warmed up, and they will see you as professional. On the sales call, just ask questions. I've posted a video on this channel about the best questions to ask that are must asks. Making sure you have something to see when they look up your name, even if it's just a LinkedIn profile. Your copy has to be clear, concise, and to the point, and then framing your offer is super important, and making sure you're targeting the right people, and just the approach to cold email, which is that it's all testing. Okay, so we've talked about how to sign 3K clients for your business with AI cold email, and we'll get into we've gone really deep into the AI piece as well in other videos with Clay. But in this 30 minutes or so, you've learned some really foundational topics that are not being talked about in this way anywhere else. And this is the stuff I needed. That's why I'm sharing it with you, because I've been down that road. I was on a call today, just talking to a young up and coming agency owner about what the things I had to go through, and the fact that my profit and loss statements were in the negative thousands because I was just experimenting. I was doing it all on my own. And I know the cost of just doing things on your own. I know how difficult and long this road is if you go about it on your own. So you effectively have three options if you'd like to start or scale an AI marketing agency and start hitting those 50K months, right? Number one is you do it on your own. And that's part of why I put out this free content, is so if you want to do that, you at least have a general playbook, right? If you have the budget for mistakes and if you have the patience. Number two is stay stuck in your current life, maybe working a job or whatever you're doing, or stuck at 10K a month and you're tired of running a business that hasn't really gotten anywhere. Number three, just jump on a call with me, right? Let me personally take a look at your business. Let me help you, and I'll help you create a clear custom battle plan designed to help you scale to 50K a month to 80K a month. The only thing I ask is that you stay focused, put in the work, and just gift yourself that gift of time, right? A custom battle plan is designed to help you scale to 50K a month to 80K a month, just like I have for myself and my clients. So if that's of any interest to you, I'll leave a link in the description so that you can check out more information along with the results that I've gotten with the business owners, case studies, and some more secret hacks. Next video, I'm out. Peace.